Hannah Payne, a 21-year-old woman from Georgia with no law enforcement training or authority, became involved in a tragic incident on May 7, 2019, that led to the death of 62-year-old Kenneth Herring. Herring, a black grandfather, had reportedly been involved in a minor traffic accident and left the scene, possibly due to confusion or a medical issue. Payne, who was not involved in the crash, chose to follow Herring in her vehicle for over a mile, despite being advised by 911 dispatchers not to intervene. During the encounter, Payne confronted Herring, and a struggle ensued that ended with her shooting him in the chest. Herring later died from his injuries. Payne later claimed she believed she was doing the right thing, acting as a concerned citizen. However, prosecutors argued that she took the law into her own hands, leading to a fatal outcome. In court, Payne testified emotionally, expressing regret and stating she feared for her safety, but the case raised broader questions about race, privilege, and justice. Critics questioned whether the legal outcome would have been the same if the racial roles had been reversed, highlighting disparities in how self-defense and citizen intervention are perceived depending on the individuals involved. The trial sparked significant public debate, not only over Payne's actions but also the legal and moral boundaries of civilian involvement in law enforcement situations.
Can you get his tag number?
Hold on, he's driving away. It's a red dot. Hold on, I'm catching up to him right now.
Okay, man, we actually do not want you to chase him. We just want you to be safe. And it's
I understand. I understand 100%. I'm just gonna get the tag.
Okay. So, if you can go back to that location where the incident happened, it's because someone is actually on the way to you guys now.
So I will stay behind him until an officer can get to us. But until then, I'm not moving.
At one point, Hannah Payne falsely told dispatchers she was following from a distance, but in reality, she blocked Kenneth Herring's truck, got out with her personal firearm, opened his door, yelled at him, and according to prosecutors, attempted to physically remove him from the vehicle.
Get out the car! Get out the car!
Ma'am.
Moments later, a single gunshot rang out. Payne called 911.
Moments later, a single gunshot was fired. Payne called 911 in tears, claiming, "He tried to grab my gun."
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! He just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand while he was...
Ma'am, you were not supposed to follow him.
He hit my car! There's a police officer down the street. Tell them to come up here now. He pulled the trigger on my gun after he attacked me. Tell the police officer to come up 35 inches and come up here immediately.
But multiple witnesses say Herring was not threatening her.
Hey, she reached in the window and everything. They shot that man. He had to shoot that man.
But multiple witnesses stated that Herring did not pose a threat to her.
Well, you need to stop. You need to stop. You just caused that accident. And he's just like, who are you? Who are you? I said, I'm no one, but I'm on the phone with dispatch. I'm on the phone with the police. And he's like, yeah, okay, I got something for you.
So he appeared inebriated to you?
Yeah, I thought it was alcohol.
Okay. Did you ever smell any alcohol?
I never got coconut.
Even when you're at the window, like when you're having the, did you ever catch a whiff of anything, or?
I can't say that I did. Can't say that I didn't. I don't know with what hand, how he lunged it first, but when he lunged, it hit my phone. It knocked it out of my hand, and he grabbed
Knocked it out to the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it shattered the screen.
Okay.
And then he grabbed me, that he's pulling at me, he's tugging.
Okay.
So he's pulling, we're going back and forth, he's hitting, he's swinging. I'm trying to hit, but I'm also trying to pull away. And that's when he I told him, I said, you need to stop, that I had a gun and that I would shoot him. He's like, yeah, okay, shoot me. He grabs my hand with the gun. He's pulling at it, and he's pulling at the trigger area, in the trigger. So when he was pulling at me, when my finger, I put it on the trigger. Don't have my fingers on the trigger. I had it resting on the side of the trigger. And I'm yelling at him, telling him, I said, just let go, let go. And he's yelling, no, just shoot me, shoot me. You said you're going to, just shoot me. I'm like, just let go, just let go. That's when his hand and my fingers were
In the trigger guard.
they were at the trigger guard. And he had a hold of the trigger, and the trigger was pulled. That's when it went off.
That went off.
How many shots were fired? Just the one.
Body
Kenneth Herring was shot in the lower left chest and died shortly after. Police questioned Hannah Payne at the scene, and her story was inconsistent. She claimed self-defense but also said she didn't fully understand what had happened.
Ma'am.
Ma'am!
Yes.
Ma'am! In my hand.
Ma'am,
I didn't put
you
it in my
were not
hand.
supposed to follow him. Okay, you got the tag number.
but prosecutors
Body cam footage revealed Hannah Payne saying that Kenneth Herring deserved it. That statement would later play a critical role in the case. Police noted that Payne had no visible injuries, no bruises, no torn clothing, contradicting her claim that Herring had attacked her. Within days, she was charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and weapons offenses. The case faced multiple delays due to COVID-19 and other factors, and it took years to reach trial. Finally, in June 2024, the courtroom was packed. On one side sat Kenneth Herring's grieving family. On the other, supporters of Payne who argued she was simply trying to stop a hit-and-run driver. The prosecution presented a very different narrative, arguing this case wasn't about public safety but about personal ego. That Payne had taken the law into her own hands and made herself judge, jury, and executioner. Jurors heard Payne's 911 calls. In the first, she sounded calm. But as the confrontation escalated, her tone became increasingly agitated. The recording captured her yelling at Herring, followed by a loud struggle, then silence, then Payne sobbing.
You have. You 1 minute say I'm him. Innocent. How did he have the wrist? Like this?
This hand was here, yes.
Okay. And the gun was here and he's pulling you forward.
Yes.
And he said he had you here
But
on this.
he was closer.
Alright. So, and he had your shoulder with this hand, or what was this hand doing?
That he let go
He let go.
once he got a hold of this wrist.
So he came,
And he grabbed it.
alright, grabbed the gun like this.
Correct.
Okay. And where was your finger?
The same way that I have it now.
And when he grabbed like this, that shows his fingers are right there over the trigger.
Correct.
Is that correct?
I mean,
So it's possible any of the four digits got into that trigger
correct.
to get.
as she
Prosecutors questioned why Hannah Payne approached the situation with a gun at all. One of the most powerful moments in the trial came when Payne took the stand in her own defense. With the judge's permission, her legal team handed her a replica of the firearm. Standing before the jury, visibly shaking, she was asked by her attorney to demonstrate exactly how the shooting occurred.
Having gone through that situation and here we are in court, is there anything you've learned from this situation or that sticks in your mind from all this 4 years later, 4.5 years later?
That not everybody is gonna have a reaction that you think they're gonna have. And that clearly trying to do the right thing is not the right answer.
Think you're ever gonna help anybody else, try to help anybody ever again?
No.
As Payne handed the replica gun back to her attorney, she was asked what she had learned from the experience. That's when she broke down in uncontrollable sobs.
The jury finds the defendant guilty. With regard to count 2, as to the offense of felony murder, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 3, as to the offense of aggravated assault, we the jury find the defendant guilty. With regard to count 4, as the offense of felony murder, we the jury find the defendant guilty.
he was
But during cross-examination, prosecutors pressed hard. They emphasized that Hannah Payne had multiple chances to make a different choice, that she could have stayed in her car, followed the dispatcher's instructions, and let law enforcement handle the situation. Instead, she chose to escalate it. They introduced text messages Payne had sent days earlier, joking with a friend about carrying a gun and saying she'd use it if she had to. The prosecution argued this wasn't a case of panic or fear. It was about control. In their closing argument, they declared, "This wasn't road rage. It was vigilante justice, and it cost a man his life." After several days of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict: guilty on all charges, felony murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
The court really imposed a sentence of life with the possibility of parole.
She wasn't a cop, but
she was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. She wasn't a police officer, but she acted like one. She said she was scared, yet she was the one holding the gun. Kenneth Herring never pulled a weapon or made any threats, but he still ended up dead. So here's the question. If this had been your father, your son, or your grandfather, and a stranger followed them, blocked them in, and pulled a gun, would you call that self-defense or murder? Drop your answer in the comments because how you see this case reveals a lot about the world we live in. Thanks for watching.